Hello, you guys. I'm so excited to do this. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but we're gonna talk about how my makeup, how my skin, how things changed once I knew I was in perimenopause. I didn't quite know what was going on, and so I'm gonna share all my tips and tricks with you. So if you are someone in your 40s, even 35 up, this video is going to be for you, so make sure you save it, hang out with me, and ask any questions along the way. So my name is Lauren, I'm 44 years old, and I'm gonna just show you how I've changed my makeup as I've aged. Because if you're like me, you may have noticed that the same makeup that you're wearing just might not be working for you anymore. And so either you give up on makeup altogether or we change it. And that's what I'm gonna show you today. Some simple tips and tricks, simple products that I like, what to look for when you're shopping for makeup and skincare that I find has worked really, really well for my age group. So, hi guys, say hi, tell me what you're up to. And we're gonna get started. So, I'm gonna make this fast. I haven't got ready yet today, so I thought this is perfect. Let's just do this. We're gonna talk about skincare first, okay? So when I was a little bit younger, and maybe you're still doing this, I was using a lot of retinols. I was using a lot of products that were really ruining my skin barrier. And so you can see here, I have rosacea. I've calmed my rosacea down a lot, and I do have texture. A lot of us have texture, especially in this area, our chin area. You start noticing things on the skin that's a lot different than when we were in our younger ages, like 20s, 25, 30. We could use a heavy type of foundation, or we could use a lot of retinols and heavy products on the skin. But if you've noticed that your skin barrier is starting to get ruined, or maybe you're not being able to treat the areas, I'm gonna show you something that's worked for me. So I have very dry skin. One thing that happens as we age and we hit perimenopause, estrogen levels drop. So you may notice that your skin, maybe if you were even oily before, has become more dry and dull. Very, very normal, okay? So we wanna combat that by using products that are a little bit more calm on the skin, plant-based, at least for me. These are all things that have worked for me. If you have something that's worked for you, tell me, because I'm always trying new products. But I was trying a lot of products. I get a lot of products sent to me, so I'm always trying new skincare products. I switched over recently to Korean skincare. I feel like it works really well for my skin. It brings back the hydration to the skin. So these are just some of the products that I use right here. I use an oil cleanser. It's less abrasive on the skin. I have really sensitive skin. I've noticed as I'm getting older, I can't use a lot of harsh types of like, what am I trying to say? What am I trying to say, you guys? Brain fog. See, that's something else that happens. But when I try to like do things that are trying to take the dead skin off off my face, I can't do that as much anymore. So I like an oil cleanser. I find it takes my makeup off. I'm not having to scrub. I'm not causing dry patches. I'm not causing more rosacea or redness or irritation to the skin. And I'm using something that's hydrating. It's bringing back the moisture to my face. So this is one of my favorites. There's a lot of other great oil cleansers on the market, but this one's really great. Oh, and if you want to know like what skincare I'm using, you can comment skin123 at any time during this live, and you can grab my free skincare quiz and you can look at some of these products. But these are all plant-based. They do not destroy your skin barrier, which was what my problem was. So things like this, using serums. This is another Korean skincare. This one is an ampule. I just started using this. I love it for redness, for texture, for bringing back elasticity to the skin because we lose that. So looking into your skincare products, making sure they're not super harsh. You do not need these harsh products that we are selling to people all the time. Like the thing with retinols and all of these things Americans have used is they want a quick fix, right? So we're using these harsh chemicals on the skin to get a quick fix instead of using something that's gonna heal from the inside out, which Korean skincare really believes in. So I've really loved using Korean skincare in general. There's a lot of good ones on Amazon. And the brand I'm using is awesome as well. They have great lines. And like I said, you can comment skin123. It will be a skincare quiz for free and you can check it out. Okay. So skincare, it starts with skincare. Your makeup is only as good as your skincare. So if you are using a makeup wipe to wipe your face at night and that's all you're doing, let's change that, okay? So as we age, we wanna bring back the moisture to the skin. We wanna help bring back the glow to the skin, and we wanna heal the skin, okay? Because over lots of time in the sun, using lots of harsh products, our skin is going to look very textured. It's going to look like it's, it's sensitive. It gets more sensitive. So we want to be careful. Okay, next, I want to talk about sunscreen. So this is my favorite sunscreen. You can comment glow, by the way, if you want any of these products. I also have those linked. I think I figured this out. And this is Super Goop, okay? So I like this one. Why do I like glowscreen better than anything else? Oh, good. I love that you guys are sharing. Thank you. Thank you so much. I will look into these products too because, like I said, I'm always trying new things. I like using a sunscreen that has a little bit of glow to it because our skin naturally loses the glowiness to the skin, okay? So I like to just put this on. I also use this as a primer. So I'm not using another added step. Another thing that we want to be really careful with, because our skin has more texture as we age, we don't want to put on a ton of products. So back in the day when I was in my 20s, I could layer products like no big deal, right? But as I'm getting older, I cannot do that. I'm gonna pull my hair back so you can really see what I'm doing. I can't do that as much. So I'm gonna work smarter and not harder by using less products, but placing them strategically so I still get the coverage that I want. So before I even start, I have this glowy sunscreen. This is in the shade Sunrise. Rose gold is pretty, and you can actually use rose gold in place of what I'm doing if you want more of a bronzy look. But I'm also then gonna put a little bit of these e.l.f. drops on. Why am I doing this? So one, this acts as a primer, but two, as we age, I wanna bring back a little bit more glow to the skin. I wanna bring back a little bit more color to the skin. If I apply a little bit of these glow drops with my sunscreen, I'm gonna get a little bit more darkness to the skin, which is going to help with texture. So instead of going lighter on the skin, we're gonna bring back a little bit of warmth to the skin, and we're going to kind of cover any hyperpigmentation. We're going to kind of just give ourselves just a little bit of glow, so we're gonna need less makeup, okay? So I'm just gonna kind of rub this in. You don't have to have the glow drops if you don't want. I just think that they even out the skin. And a lot of times I will put bronzer on and just this, and I'll leave. So you can see my skin is sensitive. As soon as I touch my skin, it's gonna go red. So we gotta let it chill for a minute while I kind of talk. So I'll do my brows and show you that. So right now, I'm just letting my skin chill. I'm very sensitive. If you're not sensitive, you don't have to worry about that step. But for me, I'm sensitive. I just kind of let everything chill. So let's go to brows, okay, while we let everything sit. I'm gonna use a brow wax. You can use anything you want. This is my benefit. Once again, if you comment glow, you can get all of these products that I am using. I'm gonna start by brushing the brows up. So as we age, a lot of us are losing our brow hair, right? And so either you're like, I don't know what to do because I don't wanna make it look worse, or finding a color can be hard because we go too dark. So we wanna stay lighter, okay? So instead of grabbing something that's gonna be too dark to fill in your brows, I want you to think a little bit lighter. That's gonna give your face a lighter look instead of going too dark where it's gonna make everything here look heavier, which already we're getting heavier on the eyes. So if you go heavier here, it's gonna make all of this look heavier and more closed off. So I like to use a brow pin. So something like this that has like these, can you see that? It has like these little 3 prongs on it. Maybe if I go like that. Anyways, this is awesome because what this is gonna do is it's gonna mimic hairs. So if you don't have brow hairs, maybe you overplucked or something like that, or you're just losing hair in general, which is super normal, using something like this to go in and create natural looking hair strokes is going to make your brows, 1, look filled in and natural, and 2, not heavy. So on this brow pin, I've got the 3 sides, and then I've also got this 1 little side. So I like to sometimes just kind of anchor my hand here and just kind of flick up and just kind of add in a little bit of color, which looks like a natural hair, to anywhere that I'm having some sparseness. You can even come up here and add a little bit of an arch, but I don't put a lot on my brows anymore because if I do, it's gonna make everything look more heavy. So using a brow pin like this is going to give you more of a natural kind of look, so it's gonna open everything up. The other thing, and I'm using the shade Blonde, so it's very light, and I also have like not the darkest brows. So I'm gonna go back with that wax, or you can just use like a brow comb. I'm just kind of like making sure I don't have a ton on here. And then I'm just gonna brush up what I just did. I'm not doing anything crazy. Now, if you do not have brows, I'm gonna show you something else, okay? Everything's gonna be really simple. We don't need to make anything complicated, because if we make things complicated, we stop wearing makeup, right? Especially as we're older. So what I like to do is I like to line up. If you don't have brows, I'm gonna just show you kind of your placement. You're gonna line, actually let's do this side. So I'm gonna line up my pencil with, let me close off this other side. Okay, so I'm just gonna line up the pencil with the edge of the nose, and I'm just gonna make a little mark. That's where my brow should start. Okay, so if you're losing a lot of brow hairs right here, which is really normal, that's where you want your brow to start. Then you're gonna go from the edge of the nose to kind of like at an angle, and that's where you want your arch to be. So I just make a little dot there so I know where I want the arch to be. Now I have microbladed eyebrows. They probably need to be touched up, but I kind of have a little bit of guidance there. If you don't, this is gonna help you with that. Then you're gonna go at the edge of the nose, lined up with the edge of the eye, and you're just gonna stamp there. That's how far you want your brow to go. Now, if you bring your brow down here, what's gonna happen, right? It's gonna make the eye look droopy, heavy, closed off, so we don't wanna do that. Okay, so now that you have your marks, I'm gonna go in with the 3 prongs, and I'm going to just kind of start making hair-like strokes and filling it in. Now this is gonna look more natural, in my opinion, than taking a blocky pencil and trying to draw in all these hair strokes. So if you are struggling with your brow hairs, you can comment glow to grab this and you can see what I'm using. L'Oreal also has a really good one, but there's lots of them on the market. This is just a really affordable one and I like it. I think it works well. It's waterproof too. And you just kind of go in, use your own brow as a guidance, but just kind of like go in and create these brow-like strokes, and it looks like your brows, which that's what we want, okay? So then we just go back and you just brush it back up. I'm gonna use that same brow wax. I'm just combing it all off. Go up. Microblading is a lifesaver. I totally agree. I love that my eyebrows are microbladed. Mine's been like 2 years, so it's probably time to get it a little bit touched up, but I love it because it gives you guidance on like where to go. So less heavy brows, really, really important. Okay, let's go back to the skin. So everything's kind of like soaked in. Make sure between the different layers that you're putting on that you're soaking everything in. So if you put your skincare, give it time. Go make your bed, go do whatever you need to do, but let it soak in. Then once you put your sunscreen on, you want that to soak in too. So my sunscreen is acting like a primer. Now, if you've ever noticed, when you were younger, you could use a lot heavier, maybe a more matte liquid foundation, but as you started using that, as your skin has changed, maybe you're showing more texture. Maybe it's starting to separate. Maybe it's showing dry patches. Maybe it just looks really heavy and cakey on the skin and you don't want that look anymore. My opinion, as I've hit perimenopause, less is more, because as we age, we have more texture, we have fine lines, and if you put anything on that and it's a heavy product, it's going to accentuate it. So we want to use something that's a little more glowy, something that's a little bit more dewy, something that's not heavy on the skin. So here's a couple of examples. I love creams. You will hear me talk about, I've talked about creams on here for like 6 years. Creams on mature skin, beautiful. But I'm gonna give you some other options today, okay? So the first one is a skin tint. I love a good skin tint, but I also like one that's hydrating. This is expensive, don't come at me, but I love this one, okay? This is by Hourglass. I like to put just a little bit on my hand like this, taking a flat, dense brush. This is the 101 brush from BK Beauty. You can use anything. I just like this one. Now, if you are someone who doesn't want a lot of makeup, this is a pretty skin tint. It brings back the glow to the skin. See how that just evened everything out and I hardly have any on. It's awesome. Now, if you're someone who wants a little more coverage, using a skin tint under your makeup also will give you good coverage without it feeling heavy. So that's just another idea. So I'm gonna show you how to layer the skin tint under something else that's a little lighter, but I wanna show you if you're someone who just likes a skin tint on their own, this Hourglass one is fabulous. Why do I put it on my hand? I put it on my hand first. You probably see people go straight onto their face, you know, when you're watching makeup videos. The problem is that's great on video, but if you're in real life, it's gonna look patchy. So you wanna make sure that you're putting it on your hand, and then that's gonna coat the entire brush before you actually put it on the face. So I like to just make sure I get really even coverage, because then that's gonna make my skin look really evened out. So just with that little amount of product, obviously I have no concealer on, but look how that just evened out my skin and gave me a really pretty glow. So skin tint is great. We don't wanna deny the idea that skin tint is something we want to skip. It's beautiful. There's lots of them that have great coverage as well, and I love the Hourglass one, even though it's kind of expensive. Okay, let's say you're someone who doesn't want just a skin tint, but you want something else on top of it, or you want to try a foundation. Cushion foundations. This is from the same company that makes my skincare. I was very skeptical because I've used Tear before, and I don't love Tear, but I love this one. It's skincare infused. So let me show you how I apply it. This is in the color Light. There's a couple different colors. But I'm going to, instead of using the cushion that comes with this, I'm going to use the brush. What is going on here? Okay, there we go. So I'm just caking it, like covering it like this, see? Everything cushioned on the brush. And then I'm going to push that into the skin. First of all, this brush is my favorite, and I'll tell you why. Do you see how much area I'm covering in such a short amount of time? Second of all, what I love about it is that it is going to give me a really nice dewy coverage, and it feels so light on the skin. So this 101 brush is just really great for all your products, and I like to only have to use one brush. If I don't have to use more than one brush, I always say it's a win, because I don't want to have a million products, especially as I'm getting older. The less is more philosophy works really well. Now, if you are noticing, I'm not touching my eyes, and I'm doing that on purpose because I'm going to get to those in a minute. I'm going to use a smaller brush for that. So there we go. That's the cushion. It's so easy. It gives you so much good coverage. Now we want to bring color back to the face. So I'm going to go in with a cream bronzer. Now, a lot of people are nervous about cream bronzers as we age. I have started to use this instead of contour. So I personally like to use a cream bronzer. There's a lot of good ones on the market. This one is from Merit. Merit is great. Another really good foundation is the Merit Cream Stick Foundation. I really like this one as well. I just didn't have time to show everything. But I'm kind of rubbing this all over the brush. The reason being, I don't want to go on my face. If I take this and rub it on my face, I'm going to disrupt everything I just did, okay? So since I have my foundation on, I want to bring depth back to the skin, and I want to lift my skin, my face right here. This area right here we want to lift. So I'm going to apply it at an angle. I'm hitting about right here on that cheekbone. So if you feel your cheekbone, you can feel the rounded part of the cheekbone, right? Everyone's are different, but for the most part, we want to aim right about the edge of the eye downwards, and we don't really want to go too far here. That's with contour. Now you can use the same rule with bronzer, but you can actually bring it along the cheeks. So I'm going to bring it this way. And why am I doing that? I'm bringing that along the cheeks because I want to add color to the skin, but I also, here is where I have a lot of texture. So I'm going to add some bronzer there, and that's going to kind of tone out any texture that I have. So if you have hyperpigmentation, that's a really great trick. You can actually even put bronzer on before your foundation, and that's going to give you even more coverage, especially if you have that hyperpigmentation. If you have a lot of texture in this area, we don't want to go too light. We want to actually bring a little bit of warmth to that area, and that's going to kind of camouflage everything. So this is by Merit. It's in the color Seine, and it's really, really pretty. I like it. Very easy to work with, okay? Just don't take the stick straight to your face. It'll disrupt everything. So now we're starting to bring that color back. So now we're going to go with my under eyes, and I'm going to use, let's see, what am I going to use? I want to use something that's pretty light. Normally I use creams under the eyes. I'm going to show you a different way to conceal, and I'm going to use the cushion, the same cushion, but this is a shade lighter, okay? And the reason I like this one is because it's not going to put a lot of product under the eyes. So if you're putting a lot of product under the eyes, we have more texture. I have some dark circles there. I've got a lot going on. I've got wrinkles, fine lines. So if I put too light of a shade there, it's going to push everything forward. We don't want to do that. So instead, we're gonna go in with one shade lighter than my foundation, and that's gonna bring back a little bit of glow to the eye, but it's also not going to pop all the wrinkles forward. I'll show you what I'm gonna do. The first thing though I wanna do, and this is kind of a different philosophy, but I wanna show it to you because it does really work. Do I have a brush? I'm gonna use this brush. This is random, but I'm gonna take that bronzer that I just used, and where I have this dark, what cushion? This is from Riman. If you comment glow, you can get all of these products I'm using. But yes, I'm using light, and then this is the one before light. It's really pretty. If you have a lot of darkness under the eye, we're gonna go in with a little bit of bronzer, and I'm just gonna kind of correct that area. Why am I going on with a bronzer? I want to, anywhere there's really these light areas right here, I want to put a little bit of bronzer there, and I want to kind of tone the area so that, I'm just going to use my finger, I want to kind of bring that darkness not so dark, because if you have this light area here, you're going to have everything that's light push that dark area forward. And so by putting a little bit of darkness on that light area, you're kind of toning the darkness. And I'll show you, it's gonna look crazy and then it'll look better. Okay, so I'm just using my finger with creams. You can use your finger, it's great. And we're just gonna tone a little bit. Yeah, so someone was saying the packaging looks different. So this one is the new one. This was their original formula. I still have it. It lasts forever. Like, I was kind of skeptical that it would not last forever, but it does. So this is the original one. And you get two little like cushions. So it's like so nice. These last, like I said, so long, and then you have a refill. Okay, instead of using powder, I'm going to put a little bit of the cushion on this dense brush. You can use anything. I like a smaller brush for under the eyes. And then I'm gonna take my setting spray and I'm gonna spray this makeup that's on the brush. I'm doing this because I want to make sure, one, it doesn't move all day, but two, this is going to help in lieu of powder, because if you're putting powder under the eye, you are going to be creating a lot of texture that you do not want. And so I like to use that setting spray because it's going to just give a really nice, even look to the skin without adding texture under the eye. Now, one thing you'll notice that I'm doing is I'm starting in the inner corner, I'm working down the nose, and I'm coming right into this area right here. That's where a lot of us hollow. So I'm adding a little bit of a light color there because that's gonna make it look more plump. Hopefully you can see the difference just by doing that. It's not a lot of product, and I'm working it down. So I'm not going on to the under eye with a ton of product. I haven't even gotten here where there's more wrinkles. I'm going underneath that area, and then I'm coming up to the temple. And then whatever's left on my brush, I'm just gonna kind of work it under the eye. I like to keep it away from right under here because that's where our fine lines and wrinkles are. You really don't need to be covering that. So down the nose onto this area right here where we hollow, and then I just kind of bring it here and to the outer corner. Temples, we tend to hollow, so putting that brighter color is gonna push it forward, okay? So light colors are gonna plump things forward, dark colors are gonna push things back. It's like art class. So now we'll do it to the other side, and I'll just kind of work it here in the outer corner. We get really dark there and kind of hollow, so we want to bring that color there. And then right here on that smile line. And then I'm going to take that, and you can just see I'm just working in small sections. Now, can you color correct? If you want more correction under the eyes, yes, you can color correct. I love Demi, which is from Seint, is great. I wanted to keep this really simple. I will do another video. If you guys want me to do a color correcting video, let me know below and I will totally do that. I just want to keep this simple because a lot of us are not wearing makeup because it's not simple. So I'm just trying to kind of keep it simple, less products, but I can definitely do a color correcting video if that's something you struggle with. I'm going back to my original cushion, and I'm just going to put a little bit right in this area. I tend to have like kind of a vein that pokes through, so I like to go a little darker right there. But that's easy. Then we're gonna go with this lighter color again, and I'm just gonna put a little on the top between my eyebrows, a little down the center of the nose. This is just brightening my face. And I like to stay away from putting anything too light here. Keep the bronzer there. So I have texture on the chin. So if you have texture, keep that lightness away. But you can even go here, and if you have like a jowl, just giving a little bit of brightness there. Okay, so we're plumping and pulling forward. Okay, so that is kind of your foundation. Now, we don't even need a blush. We can just use our lipstick, okay? I'm seriously trying to keep this so easy for you because like I said, a lot of us have quit wearing makeup because we don't like how it looks on the skin. So I'm gonna try this. I actually have not used this one on my cheeks, but this is from Thrive and it's like a lip tint, but it's not matte. And so I don't know if I love this color though. I wonder if I have another one. I thought I had another one. I might not. But look for something that is more, I didn't grab the other color I wanted. Anyways, we're gonna still use this, we'll make it work. But look for something that's a little bit more like not matte and is more of a tint. And then you can just bring that on to the cheeks and add a little bit there as well. So if you want your lips to coordinate with your cheeks, this is a really easy way to do it. Now, if you notice how I did that, I brought it up. I used to use airbrush makeup. I have not used it in a long time. I try to bring things with me. I'm on the road a lot. I'm a mom of 3, so I'm on the road all the time. So I always have to have the easiest stuff with me. And so airbrush for me is a little bit harder, but it does look really nice if you can find a good one. So look at that, easy. Anyone could do this, right? You do not have to have 1,000 products to like your makeup again. I guess that's what I really want you to know here. And then I'm just gonna go in with the same brush I had my foundation on, and I'm just gonna go on top of that blush, and I'm going to just kind of even that out. Now, if you want to keep it off this part of the face because maybe you're hollowing there, all you have to do is go back in with that foundation again and just correct it. It's like so easy. That's what I like about this cushion makeup is it makes everything just really easy. I like to keep my blush just a little bit higher on the cheeks, but it really is your face. So if your face tends to be needing some fullness there, you can go on the apples of the cheeks. Have you tried Dibs? Yes, I have. I do like Dibs. It's a good one. Dibs has their contour stick with the blush, both ends. I love that one. I use that a lot. Actually, it's a good one. Do I know anything about television makeup? Let me know what questions you have and I'll do my best. I've been on a couple TV shows and I've done my makeup for that, so I can give you my best advice. Okay, I want to show you really quick now eyes, okay? Because a lot of us get nervous about eyes. I'm going to use one color. It's going to be really easy. We're going to go ahead and prime the eyes. So yes, I think you need primer. Do I think you should use concealer on the eyes? No, I don't like using concealer on the eyes because it adds a lot of texture to the eyes. And I feel like primer is lighter consistency, so it's not going to give you the texture on the eyes. So I personally use a primer. Plus, primers are meant to grip and hold your product on. And so if you feel like your makeup isn't staying on the eyes, try a primer. This one is by Thrive. Well, the difference is, I mean, honestly, you need to wear more on TV, right? Like I would not wear the same amount for my TV appearance as I would in real life. So you definitely don't want to use something with shine if you're going to be on TV. You don't want to use something that's very glowy because the lights and everything else are going to make it like kind of have that flashback on it. So you definitely want to use different products if you're going to be on TV versus like an everyday look, which for me, because of this video, we're doing an everyday look. But yes, you definitely have to wear more though being on TV. Which is hard for me because I'm such a naturalist when it comes to makeup, especially as I've gotten older. Okay, this is by Thrive. I want to show you. This is an eyeshadow. Really pretty. This one is really pretty. I'm going to show you another one. They have a ton of different sticks. So if you're looking for a good eyeshadow, this one's lighter. See the difference there? Let me show you one more. This one is in the color, I don't even know how to say this one, Galleon or something? Hi from Greece. I love that one too. So these are really pretty. Now, why do I like creams? I like creams because they're not gonna show as much texture. Yes, Ilia's eye sticks are so good. I love those too. So you can go directly onto the eye if you want, or you can use a brush. I'm just gonna show you really quick with the brush. I personally go higher than the crease. So if you have hooded eyes looking straight ahead, you're just gonna apply that right above the crease. Now, if you have a hard time figuring out where that is, literally you just take your eyeshadow stick, which is why I like this for more mature eyes, is because you can just kind of go right under the arch and make your line where you want it to be. And then I just blend that out, and then I'm gonna add more as I go. So that way I have my mark of how high I want this to be, and then I can continue to fill it in. So it just makes it really easy. But you can see just working with creams how easy they are to blend out. And then I find that they stay really well. These sticks stay really well. Ilia's stay pretty well too. Amazon even has some great ones. So it really is kind of like in your budget, whatever one you like. I'm gonna go in with a little bit fluffier brush, just kind of blend that outer edge. You don't need a bunch of colors for your eye. Like literally most days, I wear one color. If I'm gonna get fancy or I'm going somewhere, yes. Will I make my eyes pop a little bit more? Yes, I'll use 2, 3 colors. But for the most part, using an eyeshadow stick, one color, and then just blending out the edges is all you need. Just like that. I love this color. This is Galleon, it's called, by Thrive. So this one's really easy. Now, you can also do eyeliner. I'm keeping it really easy, okay? Detail on the brushes, comment glow, and I'll send you all that information that I'm using. So if you comment glow at any time, it should send you all the links, hopefully it's working, to all the products that I'm using. Now, I have a lot of texture right here. So right here on this kind of like hood of the eye, I have a lot of texture. So I have to work a little bit harder at kind of blending that out and trying not to fight the texture. But when I blend this out, because I love cream for this, I just kind of sweep it up towards the tail of the brow. And the more I kind of just work with that, the more it's going to kind of look a little bit more even. But if you do have texture on the eyes at all, another little trick you can do if you can't get it to kind of look even is the same concealer brush. You can kind of just go back in and kind of just go on top of that, and then go back in with your fluffy brush and just kind of work that out. That concealer really helps kind of make it look a little bit more smooth. So a lot of times people will think your eyeshadow's maybe not blended well, but if you have texture, this can be a little tricky to blend out. That's why creams are really forgiving when it comes to that. Now, you can do eyeliner. Like I said, we're keeping this really easy today, okay? I have videos on eyeliner. I can come back and do another video on eyeliner. I feel like that's a whole video in itself. But a couple of things. If you're doing eyeliner, if you have hooded eyes, I like to get under that lash line, not in the waterline, between the lashes. If you go in the waterline, it's gonna smudge and it's gonna run down your face, okay? So you wanna be like almost just like you're just rubbing it in between the lash line. That is the best placement if you have hooded eyes, because you don't have the real estate. So that is a really good way. And like I said, I have lots of videos. You can go watch lives on that and everything else. Let's see. Tips for rosacea color correcting. I have videos on that, and I absolutely do not use green or anything for rosacea. I actually use a corally orange color, a light color, peach, to correct, because rosacea tends to be a blue undertone. Even though it looks red and fiery and we here put green on top, try using a coral color. It's gonna be really, really nice. And I just kind of spot correct as I go, because I do have rosacea. Also, bronzer can work really well for rosacea to even it out. How and why did I get into makeup? I got into makeup because I was tired of watching 20-year-old influencers show makeup and use filters, and I never felt seen. I didn't feel like there was anyone on back in the day when I started, which was 5 years ago, that was actually showing real skin, that was over 40 years old, and was showing products that I could actually use. And I was tired of wasting my own money buying the products that I was watching 20-year-olds show, and then it wouldn't work for my skin. So I decided to show up on here and start teaching easy makeup tips as we age, because we need to be seen too, right? And so that's kind of how I started on here, was just really just showing those makeup tips that I wish I had when I was learning makeup. So, okay, really last tip for you. Small, thank you, I'm 44, so I appreciate that. Small brush when it comes to mascara. This can also work as an eyeliner. So if you have hooded eyes, using a small brush like this can actually be kind of a tight line strategy. So here's what I like to do. I like to start at the base of the lash and press. Can you see how it kind of gave that tight line eyeliner look there? Press. So if you have bad eyesight, you don't have real estate on the hood, on the lid of your eye, this works. Can you see how that gave me that eyeliner effect without doing anything? So if you use a small brush, hold it there and then wiggle it up, that's gonna give you the look of having eyeliner on without it irritating your eyes, without having to make sure you're doing it correctly so it doesn't smudge. I love that trick. It's really, really easy to do, and it makes you look like you're wearing eyeliner. Other thing, if you're trying to elongate or open the eye, after I have one coat on, I go back on to the edge of the eye and I work on just that edge to kind of lift and elongate and open the eye, okay? So it's just little tricks that you can use to work with your features, because one, you're gonna have different shape eye than I do, you're gonna have different shape face, but these are all tips that you can kind of work with your face as your roadmap and figure out what works for you. So once again, I'm just right at the base of the lash and I'm creating almost like an eyeliner there. It's like a stamp. And then I work it up to the lashes. And a lot of times I'll do this and not even wear eyeliner because it gives me that same effect. Because I know a lot of you, I get messages all the time that you struggle with eyeliner. This one is from Celesty. I don't think I mentioned this one on my links, but it is in my link in bio. So if you go there, it's under Celesty. This is my favorite mascara. I think it's $18. It's like drugstore price. And I have tried expensive ones. I always go back to this one. Okay, make sure I'm not missing anything. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Okay, so then I just go here and here. I don't put a ton on the bottom, but I do need a little something there. So I do put it there. You're fine. Okay, so that's it, you guys. So many easy ways to make your skin still look like you as you age without adding texture, without accentuating those fine lines, without making your skin feel more dry than it maybe feels. So use those glowy, dewy products. Use skincare that is going to heal from the inside out. Look into Korean skincare. If you have not, I swear to you, it's been a game changer for me. And I used to have skin that would have flecks of dry skin everywhere, and I had the worst rosacea, and things have just kind of calmed down. So skincare is really, really important, but then use your products in multiple ways. Use your bronzer on your eyes, use your lipstick as your blush, but you don't have to layer and create this really textury, dry feeling skin as we age. There are so many good products out there that are going to help you feel like your skin still looks like you, but it's glowy. So the last thing I want to do is use a setting spray. Now, if you are dry, my favorite one is this one. It's by Charlotte Tilbury. If you are oily, or if you want a matte look to your skin, this one size. This one actually has sunscreen. I don't know if it's available yet, but their normal formula, which is just one size on till dawn, it's mattifying. Now, if you live in Florida or you live in Texas or you live somewhere so hot you feel like your makeup slip and slides, layer these two. It is a game changer. I swear to you, your makeup will never move. It's crazy. So I'm just gonna spray. Now, with setting spray, you wanna really make sure you're putting it on there. Don't just like put it all over, okay? Yes, if you don't use setting spray, I swear your makeup doesn't last, and I hate touching up my makeup. And then, so I don't even let this dry, I go straight in. This one, the only thing I don't like about it is the smell is horrific, in my opinion, but it doesn't make your makeup move. So this is like a winning combo. They're expensive, but they're well worth it. I only put my money towards things that are really expensive, but they work. Other things I feel like you can find dupes with. I have not found a setting spray that I feel like works as well as those two. So, okay, I hope that helped. Like I said, I'm going to post this on my page. You can comment glow. You can get all of this information, all the products I used. If you want to take my skincare quiz to find out the different ones that I'm using and what works for you, you can comment skin123 and it will send you my free skincare quiz and you can find what one is perfect for your skin. So hopefully this was helpful. I hope you learned a little bit along the way. If you guys want me to do a video on color correcting or eyeliner or any other issues that you're having, let me know, because that feedback helps me so much decide what videos I should do next. And I try to go live every week just to help you guys out, to answer your questions. And so yeah, let me know what I can do. But I appreciate you guys so much, and I will talk to you later. Bye guys.